At the end of the 19th century, interest in all forms of motorized transport was growing throughout Europe. In Le Mans, the Bollé family was at the forefront of the new industry. However, not everyone was happy to see Amadé Bollé at the wheel of his creations, one of which, l'Obéissante, he drove from Paris to Le Mans, a distance of about 200 kilometers, in 18 hours in 1875. He was regularly refused fuel, even if there was any to be had, and local children would often throw stones at him from the side of the road as he passed. By the dawn of the 20th century, Bollé's feats had given way to full-scale road racing between cities. But when these competitions were banned for being dangerous, the Automobile Club de France issued a challenge to see who could organize a race around a circuit. The forerunner of the ACO, the Automobile Club de la Sarthe, was chosen, and the date was set for the first ever Grand Prix. On the 26th and 27th of May 1923, the first 24-hour endurance Grand Prix was held in Le Mans. The hoped-for good weather didn't materialize, and the drivers and spectators were battered by a 4-hour hail, wind and rainstorm. During the night, decommissioned Army searchlights illuminated the corners on the 17-kilometer circuit. Of the 33 cars that set off, only 3 retired. The winners of that famous first race were André Lagache and René Léonard in a French Chénard et Walker, who covered just over 2,200 kilometers at an average speed of 92 kilometers an hour.
Drivers race for their cars as Europe's most grueling car race begins. It's 24 hours non-stop with 2 drivers to each car. 31 cars in a struggle for mastery. Great Britain did well with 4 out of the first 6 places, but France wins with 54-year-old Louis Rosier driving 23 hours to his son's 1.
Jaguar race strategy decided Stirling Moss should be the hare, and his start was fantastic. Moss was soon established in the lead, pursued by the Ascari Villoresi Ferrari. and so began a green versus red battle that was to last much of the race, with the Jaguars benefiting greatly from their new disc brakes. Moss led at record speed until he was delayed by a blocked fuel filter. But teammates Tony Rolt and Duncan Hamilton held the Ferraris at bay until Ascari retired with 5 hours to go. So car 17, Moss and Walker, was now second. Car 18, Rolt and Hamilton, was clear leader. Car 19, Whitehead and Stewart, was fourth. That's how they finished. A magnificent result for Jaguar and for Britain.
This year it promises to be a battle royal between the Ferraris and the British Jaguars. Quickly in the lead is Gonzalez in a Ferrari. The cars are still lapping at about 115 miles an hour as night approaches. Among the 300,000 spectators is Playboy diplomat Ruberosa and the fabulous Jaja Gabor. Night falls and still the race goes on. The three Ferraris are going well, but the Jaguars have had trouble with sand in their petrol. Sterling Moss is out of the race. So is Stewart following a collision in his Aston Martin. In driving rain, Gonzalez and his co-driver Trentino hold on to their lead. But Tony Rolt and co-driver Duncan Hamilton keep their Jaguar hot on their heels. Then the British-made Lagonda skids into trouble. Eric Thompson and Dennis Poor are out of it now. It's still the red Ferrari with Gonzalez at the wheel that keeps the lead. Duncan Hamilton brings his Jag in for refueling. The 24 hours will soon be up. The Ferrari that comes in to win, only 105 seconds in front of the British car.
The Le Mans 24 Hours has some of the most dangerous, dramatic driving in the motor racing calendar. Mercedes were fighting it out with Jaguars, Ferraris with Aston Martins, MGs with TR2s, Fangio and Moss, Hawthorne and Castellotti were just some of the household names at the wheel. And they were giving the 250,000 people in the stands some high-class entertainment. The race was the fastest ever, faster even than the Grand Prix times of the day, 150 miles an hour, touching 180 on some stretches. Then suddenly, disaster. One of the Mercedes had somersaulted a barrier and cut a swathe through the crowd at 150 miles an hour. The result, horrific. It took some time for the scale of the disaster to sink in. In the confusion and panic, no one was sure exactly what had happened. In fact, 80 people had died and hundreds more were injured. In what was widely regarded at the time as colossal insensitivity, officials allowed the race to go on. The eventual winner was the British driver Mike Hawthorne in a Jaguar on a day that saw the worst accident in the history of motor racing.
Sports car race is a real battle of nations this year, and Italy and Britain are expected to provide most of the excitement. The factory teams of Ferrari and Maserati are a powerful force. Main British hope lies with the Jaguars, all privately owned. Tony Brooks' Aston Martin comes to grief, but no one seriously injured. Mike Hawthorne drives Ferrari number 7. In the small car classes, the British Lotus team is doing fine. Throughout the night, the grueling laps mount up. There's Flockhart's Jaguar now well in the lead. Where's the great Italian challenge? One by one, the Ferraris and Maseratis have been dropping out, in spite of all the resources of their big factory organizations, and it's the British cars which are proving their stamina. Winners Flockhart and Bueb head a fantastic list. Jaguars first, second, third, fourth and sixth. 10 British cars in the first 12. And class victories for Lotus and Aston Martin. One of the biggest national triumphs in car racing history.
1958 saw a 3-litre limit introduced for Le Mans. Aston Martin had 3 DBR1s against the new Ferrari 250 Testarossas. Peter Collins and Mike Hawthorne were paired together. Aston Martin had Tony Brooks and Sterling Moss among their drivers. As the race settled down, Mike Hawthorne sprinted away. 2 of the DBR1 Aston Martins were not to survive for long. Duncan Hamilton was leading the 3-litre challenge from Jaguar, but the rest of the D-types and the Écurie Belge Lister had retired. Lotus were back to defend their Index of Performance title. The Hawthorne-Collins Ferrari retired with a clutch problem. Although Hawthorne, notoriously hard on clutches, was anxious to shoulder the blame, Collins took the flak.
Tuyoksasi, Tuniyoksan Nan, Legegurtan, Elan, and the Shian Hamas, the Amitabin,